Okay, so looking at question 3, we're talking about the circulatory system, which includes the heart, blood vessels, and the blood. The first question asks us, or tells us that the heart pumps the blood in a double circulatory system, and it asks us to describe what that means. So all we have to say here, but we have to be quite precise, is that the right ventricle, or the right hand side of the heart, pumps to the lungs, or we could be more precise, we could say it pumps blood to the lungs, and the left ventricle pumps blood to the body. Again, right ventricle pumps blood to the lungs, left ventricle pumps blood to the body or around the body. You could talk about the left hand side of the heart or the right hand side of the heart and still get the marks, but it's best practice to use the term ventricle. Heart rate is controlled by a group of cells that act as a pacemaker. So where do we find these pacemaker cells? This is found in the right atrium. These are the group of cells that produce or respond to electrical signals that cause the heart to beat. Next, which blood vessel carries deoxygenated blood? So let's have a look at our options. We have the aorta, which is the largest artery in the heart that goes to the body. So that's carrying oxygenated blood to the body. So I don't think it's going to be this one. The coronary artery carries oxygenated blood to the heart muscle itself to allow it to respire and keep pumping, so it's not going to be that. Pulmonary artery, so that goes away from the heart, and pulmonary tells me it goes to the lungs. This suggests that it might be the one we're looking for, so it should be taking deoxygenated blood to the lungs, but let's just check what the last one is. The pulmonary vein, that brings blood from the lungs to the heart, which is oxygen rich, so it can't be that one. So yes, we're happy that it's pulmonary artery. So again, go through that process of elimination when you're doing this sort of question. What do we have next? We have 3.4. The structure of a vein is different from the structure of an artery. What is the so one difference is that veins have valves and arteries do not. So why do veins have valves but arteries do not? So the whole point of valves is that they prevent backflow of blood. You only want blood travelling in one direction around the body or the heart. And because in veins it's in lower pressure, than the arteries, so there's less force, so it can flow backwards if you didn't have those valves. And lastly, for 3, describe 2 structural differences between a vein and an artery. So one is that a lumen in a vein, the hole in the centre, the bit through which the blood travels, is wider than in an artery. And we could also say that the vein has a thinner layer of muscle tissue than the arteries. And this must be comparative. You must say that one is wider than the other. It must be compared to the opposing type of blood vessel. You could also talk about the fact that veins have thinner layer of elastic tissue. Let's have that here. So either of these would be fine, but again, it's got to be comparative.